Hey Red Raiders! Okay, so in today's vlog, we're gonna be talking about finals. When are they? How to prepare for them? How do we personally study for them? So yeah, let's get on with the video.
Alright, so this is less of a study tip, but it's more of a finals preparation tip. So for this one, I'd recommend checking where your grade is at in the class, and you could also calculate what you need in the final to get the grade that you want in the class. So this could be either a good thing or a bad thing, because it's like, oh, maybe you only need like a 50 to pass the class or to get an A. But then in another way, it could also be bad because it's like maybe you need a 95 to pass. But it definitely is good because it really does show you, like, I don't want to say how much work you need to put in, but if you need to prioritize different classes, this is going to be a good way to see which ones you need to prioritize. Alright, my next tip would be to study things that you haven't seen on a test before. So this is the weird little time period between your last exam and your final, where professors are still teaching you things, but they haven't had the opportunity to test you on. So be careful with this, because this is where a lot of students get tripped up, because most of these things are going to be on the exam, since professors really do want to test if you picked up any of those things in the last month, or like the period between your exams. So personally, I've had this happen a lot. I remember like last semester, there were like 5 questions about this one thing that she taught a week before the final. So I definitely recommend keeping a lookout for those small things. And yeah, that's about it.
Hey Red Raiders, what's up? It's Izzy, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with y'all what are my tips for preparing for finals. So my first tip is, if you're a STEM major and you're taking a final in any of the math classes, if you go to the math department website, just type up TTU Math and Statistics, and it'll be the first link. You click on TTU Math Department, and you go to Undergraduate and Resources. You will find the final exams from up to like 2012, I think, until like 2018 for every single math class. And if there's something that's extremely useful when studying for exams, is to take past exams and practice on them, because quite likely your final exam will be very similar to the exams from the past few years. So yeah, definitely do that. Okay, so my other tip is to ask your professors for pointers, and if your exam is cumulative, make sure that you store, like, don't throw away your past exams and use them to study for your final, plus the little bit of like material that the professor went over after the last midterm, because, well, it's very likely that the material for the final will be similar to the material of the midterm if it is the professor that does the exam. And if it's not, you can always go to your professor and ask for pointers and where to start studying, and trust me, they'll be more than willing to help you, and that's the best help that you can get.
Okay, so the first tip I have for you guys is for all of my people in English classes. I've taken an English class every semester that I've been at Tech, and every single time I always have a final essay. And we do have a lot of videos on Undergraduate Writing Center, so definitely meet with your professor, meet with the Undergraduate Writing Center, meet with people who can peer review your work. But I think the hardest thing for some of us college students is to plan out that time in order to write an essay. And so I find it extremely helpful to simulate what it's like to take a test, because I think some of us are kind of used to taking a test in high school and like writing an essay under that time, whereas like in college all you have is that 11:59 due date and you start writing at 11, so you really don't have time to, you know, get your work peer reviewed when you're doing it like that. So I think it's important to set out a time where you just have like an hour or even like 20 minutes for each paragraph on, you know, Monday through Friday, just depending on how you work. Schedule time in order to, you know, pressurize yourself into getting that work done so that you can still get your work peer reviewed. Okay, so this next tip I have for you guys is just to break vague tasks into simple tasks. And I'll give you an example. So for my Spanish exam, I needed to basically study all the information from Unit 5 to Unit 10. And so what I did Monday through Friday was, on Monday, I would only study conjugations from Units 6 and 7. And then on Tuesday, conjugations from 7 to 8. And I would kind of just go about that, breaking all of the units into simple tasks. So it'd be easier to like understand all the information in the long run. Okay, so I've been lucky enough to have been at college and not had to take an in-person final exam. And so, you know, what that really has helped me to do is just realize that a lot of my courses involve so much work and so much vocabulary and so much like definition and just making sure that you know the work, that you come into a 50-minute, 50-question online exam. You sit there, you have all your PowerPoints out, and for some reason you still get a C because you're flipping through all these PowerPoints but you don't really know it. And obviously teachers and professors do it differently from course to course, but a general rule when it comes to taking an online open note exam is not only Control F, but to kind of just know where everything is, so that whenever you get a question, it's like, boom, this PowerPoint, boom, this note, like, boom, this section. Because it is a lot of information, and it's kind of hard, you know, when you don't have it all in your brain to kind of just like go, okay, I know it's here, I know it's in this location, I can find it. Okay, so those are all the tips we have for you guys. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We wish you the best of luck on your finals, and we'll see you in the next one. Wreck 'em.